No Appletoon, so Slowbro is the only one who's underspeeding. Zebstrika is pretty interesting. I wonder if that's just there for coverage.
I did not expect the Zebstrika to be making an appearance today, but the Surfetched and the Slowbro are definitely not a surprise. Surfetched is something we were a little scared of since, like you said, he's got a lot of fighting weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure.
And he brought most of them.
Tornadus obviously is coming for Taunt and Tailwind.
I'm also super surprised to see Kecleon come as well.
I think Protean is just so funny haha that you can't leave it behind, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair, but I think like the opportunity cost of giving up Celesteela, or not Celesteela, sorry, no, what did he give up? It was Scizor. Yeah, giving up Scizor.
Scizor and Guzzlord.
I mean, Scizor doesn't hit most of these Pokemon. Most of these Pokemon resist Scizor.
Scizor definitely helps with Coco, though, and Coco is a big threat to this team.
I think, are we
Bullet
just...
Punch is neutral on Coco, so I don't think it's really helping.
That's fair. Are we expecting just a Hatterene Scrafty lead just to set up Trick Room?
Yeah, it'll probably be Hatterene and something. Hatterene, yeah.
Well, because I think it almost has to be Scrafty, because if he doesn't fake out, I think like a Thunderous Coco lead is just going to kill Hatterene. And if your plan is getting Trick Room set up, then I think you're kind of in a rough spot with all your slow Pokemon against Thunderous. I don't even know if
that Hatterene's the only Pokemon on his team that can set Trick Room.
Yeah. I assume with so many Pokemon being able to hit Hatterene, that it's gotta be instead of like Focus Sash, it's gotta be Mental Herb for Taunt, right?
Yeah. I think
that makes sense to me.
I think it almost has to be Taunt, but Hatterene's pretty bulky. I think it can take one hit from almost anything. Nothing's really hitting it super effective.
Stab, Shell, Sidearm is gonna hurt. And Steadfast, or not Steadfast, Scrappy Leak, the high crit ratio on like Poison Jab is gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, the problem with the Shell Sidearm though is Slowbro might not. Well, I guess it really depends on IVs, right? I wonder if Hatterene did go min speed or not, like actual 0 IVs and such.
Trick Room is minus priority anyways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Slowbro was definitely the biggest threat we had to consider.
Yeah, and even just as like an anti-Trick Room team later, if he doesn't lead with Trick Room, it's like if you try to click Trick Room, he can just click Trick Room again with Protect and reset it. So Hatterene and something we're expecting, and then from ULTRASHROOM, do you expect just the strongest Tornadus Tapu Koko lead, or more of a Surfetch Slowbro lead to try to have the most threat for Hatterene?
Game 1 is definitely a feeler out kind of game. I expect Tornadus to come out, obviously because of Prankster Taunt. And then probably paired with either Slowbro or Surfetched, most likely, is what I'm expecting.
I feel like a Tornadus or Slowbro is definitely in this opening.
Oh, for sure. In fact, probably both. We'll see.
I mean, I think it maybe depends, right? If you're expecting Scrafty to leave, it might not even be worth leading Tornadus, because it's like for sure getting faked out, right?
It depends, but yeah, we'll see what the players come up with.
Yeah, they seem to be in the tank about it. And then in terms of Pokemon that you foresee getting left behind, like I think right away it seems like Drampa probably doesn't,
for sure. Yeah, Drampa
probably
for sure
doesn't come. Left. And I just assume Kecleon, but I could just be underestimating that Pokemon. And then on the other side, Inteleon seems pretty medium. It hits a couple things okay, but it's not like not too terribly hard, and Zebstrika also seems pretty medium in this particular matchup.
Yeah, Zebstrika is probably just there if Celesteela gives them too much trouble.
That is pretty much exactly the lead we were expecting.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were expecting here.
So I assume we're just gonna see fake out onto the Tornadus. Fake out onto the Tornadus and just like side shell arm onto the Hatterene. I wonder if this is a physical or a special Slowbro.
I would think the physical Slowbro would be the better option.
I think we're gonna know right away.
Because of the Intimidate, right? If you're expecting the Intimidate, I don't know why it would be necessarily the better option. I mean, the physical Slowbro is going to struggle more with Gigalith and with...
Special defense is so high that I think physical side shell arm is going to do more damage anyway.
That's fair.
Even if you run special investment.
Now, does side shell arm select based on your investment, or which one would do more to the opposing?
It actually selects based on the roll. Yeah. It's based on the roll, so it's going to be doing max damage no matter which way it's invested. I think we're going to know immediately whether this Hatterene is Mental Herb based on if the Fake Out goes into the Tornadus or the
that is fair. If it is
Pokemon is Slowbro.
Yeah, if it is Mental Herb, it probably just makes more sense to
Fake Out Slowbro. Yeah, exactly.
Additionally, maybe you see an early Dynamax from Scrafty. You know, because if you're expecting them to just hard go into your Hatterene and you know your Hatterene is going to survive any one hit, maybe you just take this turn to Dynamax and get extra damage on and start getting tempo in the Dynamax side of the match.
I definitely think that if we see that it's Mental Herb, I expect game 2 we're going to have an immediate Dynamax on the side of Solace, just to try and kill the Hatterene as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you predict which Pokemon is going to get faked out and Dynamax that Pokemon, the whole setting up Trick Room strategy just falls apart.
Right.
On turn 1. But given this turn 1, who do we think had the better lead for the matchup?
I think ULTRASHROOM had the best lead he could. I don't see any other possible lead from him, really.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think not leading Fake Out with your Trick Room Pokemon is kind of troll. I think you're definitely setting yourself up for failure.
And then given that, do you think Solus brought the best counter he could have, or do you think there would have been better things to do?
I'm not sure if he was completely prepared for Scrafty to lead, especially since he could have just like Coco, click Dazzling Gleam, and that Pokemon's dead. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this is definitely a good game 1 lead for both of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, ULTRASHROOM is leading this because it's his team's whole game plan, and Solus is leading this because it kind of covers all the other leads.
Yeah, I suspect there will be a lot to gain from this lead, and if it doesn't work out, I suspect there will be changes from Solus' side because like the reasons this wouldn't work out are like item choices and move choices and things like that, and that would be something really applicable to bring into the next game.
Right. So you talked about the prep that you guys did for Sirfetch'd. Do you want to talk more about that, Ben?
I mean, Sirfetch'd has pretty solid attack, and fighting really was a big weakness for this team. Plus, it gets coverage options for everything that resists fighting. So
what was the prep that went into it? Because I feel like looking at the team, it seems like the only real, straightforward answer to Sirfetch'd is Hatterene. And if you're insistent on leading with Hatterene, it seems like it'll be in a pretty tough spot to be there for Sirfetch'd, right?
Well, surprisingly, some of these Pokemon get like an odd fairy move or a psychic move that we could make use of.
Okay. So just like some silver bullet attacks to target down the Sirfetch'd that maybe not be expected.
And while Sirfetch'd is slow under Trick Room, it's not quite slow enough to underspeed most of ULTRASHROOM's Pokemon.
Yeah, Sirfetch'd actually outspeeds every single Pokemon on ULTRASHROOM's 8. Naturally. the fastest Pokemon that ULTRASHROOM drafted was Scizor, which is 65 base speed, same as Sirfetch'd. And he didn't even bring Scizor.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that Scizor didn't come. I made a lot of hullabaloo recently about Scizor not being as good as people think it is, but I mean, it definitely isn't a bad Pokemon.
I especially think with, like, obviously you want to set Trick Room up, right? But if something happens and you don't have Trick Room set up and you also don't have Scizor in the back for Tapu Koko, I don't know what on your team is slowing him down. Okay, so we see a Dynamax. Oh, and he faked out into the Dynamax.
Yeah. Oh, I think they knew.
In the Max Ooze. Yeah, they didn't even mess around with the mental herb.
That is an incredible.
Oh, and the special attack boost.
Oh,
that is wild.
That is a heartbreaker for ULTRASHROOM's game 1. Oh, I think
that's about as bad as it could have went, really.
Yeah, I don't know that you can recover from this. What's your Dynamax option? I mean, Celesteela, it has to be, right?
I think it's the only thing that really makes sense. I mean, maybe Gigalith can do some work on this battlefield. Like there's a Scald probably coming out of, or a water type attack of some sort coming out of Slowbro, but it's not Stab. Maybe he can like make something out of the situation. And he brought Drampa. Okay, so this was not expected. I wonder what the
fourth Pokemon is. Yeah, it's got to be Celesteela in my mind. If it's not Celesteela, then what are you gonna do about the Sirfetch'd in the back?
Yeah, I mean, given this situation, maybe like Drompa's gonna resist. It's not gonna resist really any moves that are gonna come out right this second. A Hyper Voice, I don't foresee doing a ton here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Sucker Punch is gonna really do a whole lot of. It feels like the game is tipped so far into Solus's favor here.
We also see the Life Orb on Galarian Slowbro here.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Sirfetch'd has some other item. I was expecting Life Orb to be on Sirfetch'd, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I think on Slowbro, the Quick Claw is pretty straightforward, easy pick on the Pokemon. Like its stats, it's got like 100 base attack and 100 base special attack. It can be used in an offensive way, but it's not going to be like your offensive superstar.
Right.
So I feel like when I used it anyways, it seemed like the Quick Claw, Quick Draw combo just really let me clutch out some situations that I otherwise wouldn't have.
I agree. That's pretty much what I was expecting from Slow.
Speaking of the Quick Draw.
Oh no!
And another special attack boost.
And yeah,
he doubled up right into the.
I guess you wanted to deal with that Focus Sash, probably.
Yeah, and then we got the throat spray boost, so at least we have that going for us. I think maybe we can Dynamax Drampa now with the attack boost and try to recover something here. Wonder what kind of set he's running on Celesteela. I mean, the +2 special attack on both his Pokemon that outspeed both your Pokemon is going to be tough to come back from. But yeah, the fake out onto the called fake out on the Dynamax Pokemon was solid. You had to be pretty confident in the mental herb.
Yeah, that was definitely solid.
I know I'm not a commentator for this, but Hatterene has Magic Bounce.
Thank you, Sephiroth.
I wasn't.
Sorry, that's why she's not holding a mental herb.
Does Magic Bounce work with Taunt?
Yes.
Oh, the more you know.
Works with all status moves.
And there's the Celesteela Dynamax. I think we all saw that coming. Living the Quake. Special defense boost. And there is a fire type coverage move. Barely living because of the special defense attack, boost from Quake. Boost. And there's Coco.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Coco outspeeding here with a dazzling gleam is just gonna
Yeah,
be
I'm not sure
lights
that
out here.
Dazzling Gleam is going to kill Celesteela with the special defense boost. I know it's only 5 HP, but he is Dynamax, so that's 10%. That's Electro Web. And Focus Blast.
Can he hit it?
Holy, risking it
The
all.
balls on that move.
My
Focus
goodness.
Blast was interesting. He did show that he was a special attacker with that Ultra Blast, with that not Ultra Blast, that Focus Blast there at the end.
I think we probably knew he was a special attacker when he had the balls to Dynamax Game 1 with Max Poison and boost his special attack. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I think you could glean it, but you don't know for sure until he uses an actual move, right?
Right, absolutely.
All right. So, going into game 2, what changes do we want to see out of Ultra Shroom? It seems like that lead counter is pretty tough to combat.
I think definitely leading Celesteela, Dynamaxing early, getting some Airstream beneath your wings might do him a lot of good game 2.
I'm not sure Airstream's going to provide enough speed for him. I mean, Tornadus and Coco and Inteleon are all incredibly fast, and Ultra Shroom's team's just too slow for Airstream to even help, I think.
That's definitely a solid point. Tornadus isn't going to really be doing a whole lot of damage to a lot of these Pokemon. If he had the audacity to bring Focus Blast on Galarian Slowbro, it's probably also on Tornadus. I know that it gets Focus Blast.
Okay, so we got the next game up. So we're expecting to see a Celesteela lead and a more aggressive Dynamax early. But with the Celesteela lead, how do you stop your Hatterene from just getting doubled into?
I don't know that you can. I think as long as Solace picks the right Pokemon to Dynamax, you can avoid the fake out every time. It's essentially a 50-50 for Ultra Shroom now.
It's kind of a mind game too. Do you fake out the Pokemon he didn't Dynamax, or do you fake out the Pokemon he Dynamax thinking he's going to think you're going to fake out the Pokemon?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that makes that it's a real tough mind game, and we have the exact same lead, so we're gonna play this mind game out here.
So we'll see if Ultra Shroom fakes out the Slowbro again, or if he changes his mind and goes for the Tornadus.
Yeah, I think obviously the level 1 adaptation would just be to fake out the Tornadus, because Max Poison definitely did not kill the Hatterene.
Yeah, the thing is though, if he goes for fake out into the Tornadus and the Tornadus Dynamaxes,
then it's probably game over.
Yeah, it could be the exact same situation we're in game 1. Although if the Tornadus Dynamaxes and the Hatterene lives with like 1 HP, lives with a sliver, and it's just enough to.
You got to realize that Shell Sidearm is stronger than Max Ooze is, and Max Airstream is probably going to be doing about the same amount of damage as Air Slash with the special attack boost. So I think Hatterene probably still very likely to die if Tornadus is the Dynamax option. But we will see what happens with this lead.
Yeah, I wonder. Oops, I don't mean to do that. I wonder if he thought about a plan for if he gets doubled into in general.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a switch into Celesteela, because then even if you get the max poison out of Slowbro Galar, Steel is immune to it, so they won't get the special attack boost. I think that would be a very smart play here.
Yeah, if you switch in, you'll get to waste some.
And there it is. And
there's
no,
the fake out. That's a tragedy. That Max Airstream did 1,000,000 damage.
Yeah, and there it is. Man, what a good call from Solace, just to not read too hard into getting the fake out mind game, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's good on Solace, but it's kind of tough on Ultra Shroom too, because that's the level 1 thought is like, I'm gonna fake out the Pokemon that he didn't Dynamax.
to credit to ULTRASHROOM, that mind game goes so deep. He could have been level 3 or level 5 even, thinking about which one to fake out there. I mean, it's a true 50-50. No matter how hard you think about it, it is a coin flip.
Yeah, certainly. It's like you said, ULTRASHROOM could have been thinking, he thinks I'm going to fake out the one that he didn't Dynamax, so he's going to Dynamax the same one again, That'll be an interesting question for the players after the match if we get to talk to them.
We see Gigalith here, so that's probably what he subbed in instead of Drampa.
Oh, and the max knuckle into the Gigalith. And the Focus Blast missed.
Yeah, Focus
I
missed.
could not tell if it was missing or if it was going straight into the Scrafty. And the Max Rockfall one-shots his Dynamax, so now we're in a little interesting situation. If he doesn't have Surf Etched in the back, he might not have something to finish off this Gigalith here. It's easy to think that Slowbro dies to a... And there is the Surf Etched. Now, the question is, does Slowbro go for an attack into the Sucker Punch, or do you think Slowbro's teched with Slack Off and is just going to heal up some of this damage?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, considering that Slowbro is the Life Orb Pokemon, I'm not sure that it would have Slack Off, but it very well may.
It may be fully offensive with a Life Orb set.
Yeah, it had... we saw Poison, we've seen Focus Blast. Did we see a... move? Yeah, we saw a Fire move. So
did we see a Fire move
probably, we did, yeah, we did.
Okay.
So I think its last slot is definitely... That's probably Flamethrower, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it learns Flamethrower.
Yeah. So it's probably Protect instead of Slack Off.
Protect or Scald?
Yeah.
I could see Scald.
Now I wonder if we see on Gigalith the Max Guard here and then trying to take some damage on the Surf Etched with the Scrafty here.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a really smart play. You're kind of tempted to double the Gigalith here, but I definitely think that guarding your Gigalith is a good idea.
I think it's pretty unlikely we double Gigalith here. And the Focus Blast, and there was no Protect. Okay, no Protect and no
the defense drop here. Iron Head instead of Close Combat. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, I feel like
this Slowbro was going to die to the sand anyway, but
This is going to be a huge Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, this Dazzling Gleam is going to hit like a truck.
Focus Sash cannot save Scrafty now, and I think as long as you just go close combat into Drampa as well, I think this is probably a sealed game. Not much to be done about this one at this point.
Yeah, I mean this was a game of really big decisions in the lead. Like turn 1, you had a really big decision. If it goes your way, your team's in a much, much better position than the opponents. That's part of the problem with these like very hard Trick Room teams is you really want to have some fast Pokemon in the back so that if things don't go your way, you're able to do it. That's why I'm surprised not to see a Scizor, because while Scizor is not very fast, having that priority does let it function very well outside of Trick Room, and it functions really well inside of Trick Room because of its speed.
Yeah, it's definitely a great middling speed. Yeah, and there's the Dazzling Gleam. And Berserk proc. I don't see it living this close combat, but if it did, Hyper Voice might have hit like a truck.
And that's the match.
That is the match. A quick 2-0, quick work. Good decision making from Solus, I think. Not bringing Scizor is definitely an interesting choice. I think it came back to bite him a little bit.
I think
turns really decided those games.
Yeah, this seemed like a game that was decided by preparation, right? It seemed like Solus looked at ULTRASHROOM's team and said, he cannot really deal with my team if he doesn't set up Trick Room. He has one Pokemon he's going to set Trick Room up on, and all I have to do is kill that Pokemon on turn 1, and the rest is going to sort of fall into place.
Yeah, I think it was well played from both sides. I think just, again, the fake out in game 2 is just a true 50-50. I can't fault anybody for missing that fake out read. But
yeah, missing the fake out read, I don't think you can fault. But I do wonder if there was a different route you could have took the game to where you don't put yourself in a position to make that fake out read. If you know he's leading that, maybe you lead Celesteela and Gigalith and try to just, push those Pokemon out.
Something that we considered when we were prepping was that Slowbro does get Imprison and Trick Room.
Yeah.
So faking out the Slowbro game 1 was definitely our plan going in.
Yeah, the Imprison Trick Room and just using Trick Room, both of those will kind of ruin the plan, right?
Yeah. Either way, we didn't see Slowbro Dynamaxing right out of the gate was sort of our idea. So the Dynamax Slowbro definitely
Yeah, Dynamaxing
probably
Slowbro
in
is
game 2,
definitely
we assumed Slowbro would Dynamax again, and that's why he faked out into the Tornadus slot, but
yeah, I think Dynamaxing Slowbro game 1. I was not even expecting that, to be honest with you. We were talking about which Pokemon getting faked out, but he just nullified the argument completely.
Yeah. Yeah, and the presence to not even go for the taunt play is pretty interesting. Just deciding like it's not worth it me to figure out, or no, it's not interesting actually because he has Magic Bounce.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Magic Bounce was going to be such a key factor. I was definitely talking about Mental Herb the entire time.
Yeah, I think I won last season with a Mental Herb on my Hatterene for most of it. So
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, so let's see. I think unless ULTRASHROOM is gonna join us, that should be about it. Do either of you know if he's gonna join?
No, it seems like he got added in the Discord at it, and say we give him a couple more minutes or a minute or so to say whether he's
Say
coming
yes
or
or
not.
no.
Yeah.
Solace declined. He seems to be a little shy, and that's okay.
Yeah. The so the Pokemon brought, obviously a couple of us would have liked to see Scizor brought. I'm still a little surprised for Drampa coming out in both games.
Yeah, bringing Drampa, the fairy weakness definitely killed him in both games, right?
Yeah.
That we saw Dazzling Gleam clean up both games 1 and 2, so not bringing Scizor definitely hurts for sure.
Yeah, and it's also kind of hard, like if you're gonna Dynamax your Drampa, can't like Max Wormwood into any spot because it can just be a switch into Tapu Koko. You have to kind of set up by using Hyper Voice first to get your Throat Spray bonus.
Yeah, and and I think that's maybe one of the reasons why Drampa came is because the Throat Spray with the Hyper Voice stab is just it's insane to deal with. It does so much damage from that Pokemon.
Yeah, so I wonder if it might have been better if we saw like a Scrafty Drampa lead and we just go for Hyper Voice plus Fake Out and see how that goes. I mean, you have to deal with the potential of Focus Blast, but
yeah, and we did see Focus miss that second game. I think Focus Blast had a 66% success rate. I believe we saw 2 hits, one in game 1 and one in game 2, and 1 miss. So that rings pretty true to the percent.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna get our interview this time. So with that, I think we're done with our commentary for this match, and our next match for commentary is at 7:30. But I won't be here for that one. So
again, GG's to both. Well played on both.
Yeah, good games to both. It was a really tough game. It's really hard when you have such a big decision to make on turn 1. And it ended up working out for one player, but I think it could have went either way, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely doesn't help that on the back.
ULTRASHROOM would have had a pretty solid advantage.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's 100%. It definitely doesn't help that Solace's cleanup Pokemon kind of hit all of ULTRASHROOM's Pokemon that could have been in the back. So There's a little bit of matchup going on here, but I think it was well played by both.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop out. Thank you, everybody, for doing commentary. Thank you, the players, for playing.
Absolutely.